Now then, you might feel guilty and confused about going no contact with a narcissistic person, a family member, a sibling, coworker, a spouse. And to add to this confusion and to this guilt that you might feel, depending on who you talk to, you might hear some people tell you that it's a harsh thing to do, that it's not necessary. Maybe you should try loving some more, right? Well, I'm here to tell you right now, if you're thinking about no contact, it could possibly be the most loving thing that you can do in the toxic situation. Let's talk about it. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. I thought we'd get out of the studio and get out on this canoe here and talk about this. By the way, I am here for your support. Down below in the description box, you'll find access to one-on-one appointments with me. Now, let's get into this topic. We're talking about going no contact. Now, if you're thinking about going no contact with a toxic person, a narcissistic person, whether it's a family member, a parent, brother, sister, a sibling, we are under the understanding that the reason you've reached this place of thinking about no contact is because you have tried with great effort to communicate the issues. You've tried to resolve the conflicts and nothing has worked. And there's some reasons why it doesn't work with toxic and narcissistic people. To begin with, we have to understand that you're dealing with a personality disorder. It's not a neurotypical person that you're dealing with. And so your efforts to try to resolve the conflict, to try to find peace, to try to establish a better way of doing things, in their mind comes across as you potentially being manipulative, as you trying to one-up them, as you trying to be dominant in the situation, no matter how much you tell them, no, I'm not, I just want peace, I want us to get along. You have to understand, it's their personality disorder. It's not yours, it's not your fault. They view the world through a lens of competition. If they are not the best, if they are not the authority, if they are not the one who says what, when, and how in the relationship, then they feel like you are manipulating them. This is part of their personality disorder. This is what makes them narcissists. And this could be your parents. This could be your siblings. It could be anybody. So what we want to talk about now is going no contact because you've exhausted every effort. You're hurting, you're in pain, and all that's left to do is to salvage your own peace. And so now we're going no contact. What is no contact? It means you are getting away from the relationship for good. You're not playing games. And now I want to let you know that if going no contact for you, if you're thinking of it as possibly just a punishment, if you're thinking about it just as a temporary thing where you're just going silent just to show them a lesson, well, now that is narcissistic. And that is playing games, and that is harsh, right? We're not talking about that. We're talking about you making the decision to move on with your life, understanding that you're not equipped and able to deal with that personality disorder. And so why is it that going no contact is the most loving thing that you could potentially do? Well, it's simple. Because when you're in that dynamic, when you're in that toxic relationship, what's happening is there's an awful lot of hatred, there's an awful lot of fighting. And in these toxic dynamics, abuse is progressive. It doesn't get any better. There's nothing you can do to stop it from escalating. And by going no contact, what you essentially could be saying is, listen, I love humanity, I love people to the extent that I don't want to see a hostile environment grow. I don't want to be a part of hostility. Another way you can look at going no contact is to understand that the narcissistic person goes into rages, has anger, and out of your love for people, you could be saying, listen, I don't want to be a reason that you are angry. I understand that you're an angry individual. I don't want to add fuel to that. I don't want to be further reason for you to be angry, for you to be upset. And in doing so, that's out of love. That's out of making sure that you are doing everything you can to make sure there's peace and harmony. Sometimes peace doesn't mean you're staying with people. Peace sometimes means you're getting away. Peace oftentimes is no contact, moving on with your life. That is oftentimes the most peaceful and the most loving thing that you could do. So for those of you who are confused about going no contact, perhaps you were raised in the church like I was, and you view going no contact as you being a failure, as you not being able to understand them. Let me tell you that you're saving yourself and them from escalation in a toxic situation. You're refusing to be a part of somebody else's anger. You're refusing to allow their anger to seep into you. Now, how many of you also realize that in a toxic relationship where a narcissistic person is irritating you, there's only so much of that that you can handle before you start to get upset and angry yourself? Well, now that toxicity is into you. And that's not good. Now you're an angry person. So again, the most loving thing that you can do in a toxic situation is to leave, to be done with the relationship, to move on with your life, right? And so that's what I wanted to share with you. I hope that this encourages you, especially those of you who are thinking about going no contact. I hope that it helps you to understand that there's love involved in that. It doesn't have to be a mean and cruel, punishing thing. It could simply be out of you just having the desire to make sure that there's peace. There's peace. And oftentimes peace means just stop, end it, and move on with your life. Listen, as I said, I want to be a part of your healing journey. Down below in the description box, you'll find access to one-on-one appointments with me, telephone, FaceTime, WhatsApp calls. We could do a telephone call. It's up to you. Also down below, you'll find access to Royal We Fellowship every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. and Royal We Live Chat every Monday night. Follow me on Instagram at Join the Royal We, and I'll be back with more videos for you right here on the Royal We.